Hello literature connoisseurs. Let's begin chapter 18 of Nicolae. The chapter begins with Buck as his story becomes a household talking point for some reason. It gets mentioned that there was a comedy show that made fun of it by making a cartoon of a lamb dressed up for battle and going on a rampage. Buck gets into the Christian persecution complex believing he has to hide from the powers, Nicolae and his crew, one day. This whole paragraph seems bizarre because if anything they would have expected debunking the whole worldwide earthquake prophecy and how impossible it is. I'm sure Christians will resort to magic and their imaginary friend being able to do the impossible, but that so far remains to be seen. Scene changes to Rayford as he listens in to Nicolae as they pick up Matthews and he becomes nauseated by the conversation as they placate each other. Scene changes back to Buck as they gather for a meal with Hattie. We get told that she looks awful and has a purse filled with tissues because she won't stop crying. Buck asks Amanda to pray and we get nothing really other than her saying she has no idea what she should be praying for. After we get past the nonsense we finally get to the crux of the matter as they ask her what's wrong. We learn that Hattie wants an abortion and she guesses that they want to talk her out of it. Luckily they decide not to preach to her, but they do as we get the typical Christian trope of hate the sin but not the sinner. They claim that they will love her even though her family does not. It starts sounding like a cult-like mentality as they make assumptions about Hattie and her family. Mind you, she has remained silent this whole time, but they seem to be able to read her mind. They continue to pander to her about how they love her and God loves her through them. Scene changes to Rayford as he starts listening in on the meeting again. Matthews talks about owing money to Nicolae for starting the One World faith. He says they don't have the money to pay the debt. Not sure why this new religion owes Nicolae money to create it, but since Catholicism was one of the religions that joined, and then what happened to all the money the popes had? Nicolae mentions selling off the old churches that are no longer used. Then why weren't they converted over to fit this new religion? Matthews continues that there are two groups that stand against their one world religion and they are causing a problem. If a one-world religion was created, I doubt only Jews and Christians would be against them. As previously mentioned, many of the religions have irreconcilable differences that would allow them to believe ideas that could be contradictory to their own. Even the belief in a god or gods could be problematic to Hindus and Buddhists that don't believe in gods. Nicolae reveals that he is going to train younger people to be indoctrinated to following the global community and they will wage war against Jews and Christians. Matthews considers Nicolae a genius for some reason. Scene changes to Buck as he feels bad they have made little progress in converting Hattie into their mindset. He then visits the tragic and brooding Sion. Sion says where he lives is a paradise had he not been troubled by everything that happened. Sion reveals everything he has learned about the members of the tribulation farce, which basically is rehashing everything again for the upteenth time. Sion then goes on his rant again about how people cannot believe in the Bible. At this point, how many times does this argument need to be debunked? The chapter ends with Sion deciding to start publishing his sermons online to convert his readers. This ends chapter 18 of Nicolae. Sorry if there is not much content here, but having the authors just keep repeating themselves makes for both poor reading and nauseating to have to keep repeating myself. The next chapter is the last chapter of this book and is followed by a one-paragraph epilogue that I plan to add to the chapter to finish it off. Thankfully this work of garbage will be finished. The previous book titled Tribulation Force and this book should have been combined, and a lot of unnecessary rehashing of the story could have been cut out. All of that weighs down this series and tends to bore the readers. A quick search I did stated the majority of readers believe that the next book titled Soul Harvest is the one that made them stop reading. Based on reader discussions, Book 4 Soul Harvest is often cited as a turning point where readers consider stopping due to repetitive, slow-paced storytelling and lack of character development, leading some to pause the series until later entries. Others find the series tedious or unengaging as early as Book 1. Had it been better written by not worrying about offending its Christian audience and turning books 2 and 3 into cash grabs, the series could have been more entertaining. Especially for Christians. See you next time for chapter 19 of Nicolae.